Hey guys, I'm Shane3x. Now back on my previous channel I did discussion type videos. They were immensely popular, a lot of debate was generated by the community, so I'm hoping to bring those back, and today we're going to be starting off with Call of Duty Black Ops. Okay, so the first thing I want to just mention is this video is going to become outdated very quickly, so don't come back in 6 months time and tell me, oh Shane, lightweight's the most overpowered perk, what are you talking about? Because I know, alright? So please don't come back in 6 months time with rage comments about what I've said here today, because it's not going to happen. And also there's something else I was going to talk about, but I just forgot. Sorry about the lighting, I can't actually help that. The room window is that way. And if you see the setup of the room, you're not going to actually see, it's just really impractical for me to set it up properly. So today we'll just quickly go over the perks mainly. It is a balanced discussion video, but other than that, I won't talk too much about the rest of the game, simply because we don't know enough at this stage to properly assess everything. But once the game does come out, I will return with more discussion videos to discuss things, obviously. Okay, so you got tier 1 perks, they affect how you look. Now we've got lightweight, which is move faster, no difference there, except it's been moved up to the first tier. You've got Scavenger, pretty much the same as the last game. You got Ghost. Now this is sort of like cold-blooded, except it's only for spy planes and blackbirds, so you don't become invisible to other kill streaks. What else do we got? We've got Flak jacket, that's reduced explosive damage, and hardline. Now there's a quite general range of perks there, and I think that it's balanced from, you know, just initial thoughts, because there's nothing immediately that makes me go, oh, I want to get that perk straight away. They're all useful in their own way, so there's no, it's not like stopping power in the second tier perk from other games where you're like, oh, stopping power, nothing else. So yeah, I'll just quickly move on to the next tier. Now, tier 2, the major difference you'll notice between other games is there's no stopping power. Now honestly, I believe this is probably one of the best things that's happened for a Call of Duty game balance wise, because things like double tap, faster reloads, all that sort of stuff, bullet penetration, all that sort of stuff pretty much came second place to stopping power. And now that stopping power's gone, all those perks are now equal. So increasing your bullet speed would be a good thing, increasing the bullet penetration would be a good thing. All those things are now a lot more important, and it's a lot more balanced. So you got hardened, which is which is bullet penetration. You got scout, which is hold breath longer for snipers, I'm assuming, and maybe thermal scopes if that's how they work, like in Modern Warfare 2. Steady aim. Now this is I thought this was interesting. It's become a tier 2 perk now, which I think makes sense, but it definitely will take some adjusting to. Sleight of hand is in here too, that's faster reloads, and then you got Warlord, which is pretty much just bling from the previous game. Now again, without stopping power, it's really hard to pick a perk. I mean, I'm definitely leaning towards either sleight of hand or Warlord, depending on what sort of attachments work for me, because in the previous game I used heartbeat sensor a lot, so I always use bling. But now that the heartbeat sensor isn't in the game, I'm considering steady aim or sleight of hand. So it will really just depend on how the overall scheme of things work. So, and again, we don't know what the pro versions of pretty much 99% of the perks are, so again, we can't really discuss the balance too much, but in general it looks really good. And sorry about that. And now the tier 3 perks, you got Marathon. Now this isn't infinite sprint like the previous game, it's just longer sprint, so it's pretty much like Call of Duty 4. Which I think was good, because infinite sprint was honestly a little bit stupid. You've got Ninja, that's silent movement, that's back. You got Second Chance, aka Last Stand, that's pretty much going to be the same as the previous 2 games. 3, sorry, I forget World of War exists. I've never actually played that, so yeah, but I might try it before Black Ops comes out, I don't know. You've got Hacker, which is pretty much like sit rep. Now the pro version of this perk has actually been identified, and instead of that bullshit where it's like, oh, you can hear people a little bit louder, even though Ninja, Ninja's effect cancel out and was above Hacker, so I'm not really explaining this well, am I? So Ninja pretty much reduced your sound to like a certain level, and Sitrep Pro increased your sound to a certain level, but it wasn't enough to cancel out Ninja, so Ninja defeated this perk in its sense. So what you can do this time is you can actually take control of enemy claymores, SAM turrets and things like that, which I think is actually a really good ability. So you can actually see where everything is and go and take it over. That's pretty good. I don't think they'll be so important in team deathmatch and things like that, but for things such as you know, the bomb game modes, the sort of non-deathmatch sort of modes, it'll be really important. And then you got Tactical Mask. Now there are a bunch of grenades like stun grenades, the Nova Gas, things like that. Actually I don't know if it reduces Nova Gas, but flash and stun grenades are what it reduces the effects of. So again, there's nothing immediately that makes you want to go, oh, that's the most overpowered perk, let's go grab it. But I'm leaning towards Ninja, because I never really... Longer Sprint was never really part of my game. I can play without it fine. There's nothing that actually increases you know, the length too much, so I wouldn't really bother. Second Chance, I never really liked that. That only helps you when you're dead. Why would you want that? That's kind of stupid, but you know, some people need a little bit of extra help if they're getting killed too often, so that's probably a newbie perk. But I'm probably leaning towards Ninja or Hacker. Now, obviously, if we found out what all the pro versions of each perk are, we would definitely probably have to look at this balance again, but in general, everything looks really good. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think there's any overpowered perk that I've talked about today? Do you think the game is balanced overall? Just leave your comments in the discussion below and we'll talk about it. So, yeah.